That's a fish and chip shop. It's been going for over 50 years. Oh my God. It's the best fish and chips as well.
Went to two Chippies today, two of the best in Derry, and guess what? They were closed. One was Brendan's, which is one of the best Chippies in Derry, so it is, and it's very well known.
Did you know that the fish and chip, one of the most iconic dishes from the UK, is facing a huge issue? In fact, roughly half of all chippies could disappear in the next few decades, and there's a really interesting reason why.
But at least 1,000 chip shops are going to have to close because the price of cooking oil and flour is too much for them to be able to maintain any reasonable profit margin. And if you've ever worked in restaurants, you know the profit margin is basically nothing.
Fish and chip shops aren't just takeaways, they are part of British culture. But with prices soaring, many chippies are shutting their doors for good. Let's see how people are reacting to the decline of the local chippy.
Fancy the chippy today, but it's shut. I really wanted that pucker pie and chips. Never mind, eh?
Now, in other Lurgan news, you know they like to keep us all informed. Did anybody know the burger shop were closed? Can't believe it. I thought it was actually just like closing early and stuff like that. Shut down. Closed. Finitoed.
A chippy that's been serving locals for over 50 years has closed its doors, leaving many heartbroken.
Oh my days, look. Chippy. At least they've kept the door. It's just not on that, is it? That's a fish and chip shop. It's been going for over 50 years. Oh my God. It's the best fish and chips as well. Coming out the pub, going in there, getting a pie, gutted. I actually feel like crying. It's like one of the monuments have gone.
What was once an affordable British favourite is fast becoming impossible for many shops to keep alive.
This breaks my heart. I have really fond memories of chip shops late night after drinking on the high street. There is a chip shop down the road from where I grew up in Toronto. I would go and get a fish fry dinner and bring it home at the same chip shop my mom went to when she was growing up. Fish and chips is just a magical combination of food, and when fried right, it's art. But at its core, all it is flour, fish, and oil. But at least 1,000 chip shops are going to have to close because the price of cooking oil and flour is too much for them to be able to maintain any reasonable profit margin. And if you've ever worked in restaurants, you know the profit margin is basically nothing. I know this is the UK and you're like, why do you care? I'm like, well, because the price of shit is going up here too. And if they can lose fish and chip shops, we can definitely lose chicken shops. I know the economy is tough, but if you're going to eat out, please eat local.
Traditional fish and chips? Well, what's traditional about it? The only thing that's traditional about it is that you're short.
With the cost of fish, oil, potatoes and energy all climbing, many chip shop owners are finding it harder than ever to stay afloat.
Did you know that the fish and chip, one of the most iconic dishes from the UK, is facing a huge issue? In fact, roughly half of all chippies could disappear in the next few decades, and there's a really interesting reason why. And fish and chips have been a popular British dish since the 1860s. However, today, costs are simply way too high. And in just 1 year, items such as cod as well as haddock has increased in price by 75%, and even sunflower oil has increased by 60%. And this doesn't even include potato flour as well as packaging that has also increased in price dramatically over the last few years. And when you include the high cost of energy, rent, as well as wages, the cost of running a chippy has exploded. And many industry leaders even call it the biggest crisis when it comes to frying fish in over 160 years. And as a result, many small shops have disappeared simply because they don't have the same buying power as larger brands. And it's estimated that nearly half of these shops will close down over the next couple of decades, even ones that have been open for 50, 60 years. And for many of these owners, they're forced to raise cost, turning a poor man's food into a luxury meal. And if nothing changes, fish and chip may only survive as a tourist treat, no longer the the everyday affordable meal that it once was.
People are shocked after finding out that half of the UK's fish and chip shops could close by the end of 2025. Check this out. Extreme price hikes on fish, oil, potatoes and energy are leaving owners struggling to stay afloat. Currently, in the UK, there are approximately 10,500 fish and chip shops. However, owners are worried that there could be as little as 5,000 by the end of 2025. So, what can people do to try and save their local fish and chip shops? Here in the UK, people eat approximately 380 million portions of fish and chips, which works out at 7 portions per individual. More and more fish and chip shop owners have seen huge increases of prices for their energies, oil, potato and more. Some fish and chip shops up and down the UK have even introduced an initiative called Friday, where they give out free fish and chips to local residents. Due to the cost of living crisis, more and more people are eating less takeaways, which means less fish and chips for the locals. Let me know your thoughts on this one, people. Have you seen your local fish and chip shop close down? What do you think about the initiative of Friday, where they give out fish and chips to entice customers to come in? Let me know what you guys think in the comments.
2 local chip shops closed. It just shows how tough things have become when even the busiest season can't keep shops going.
Went to 2 Chippies today, 2 of the best in Derry, and guess what? They were closed. One was Brendan's, which is one of the best Chippies in Derry, so it is, and it's very well known. Another one was the Far East Chinese, and that's one of the best, and it was closed. So we went to another one called Donaghy's, and it was open, so it was, and we got a fish and chips and 2 kids' meals, and guess what? Tomorrow they're closing for 2 weeks for holidays. Everywhere's closing, so they are. What's happening to these chippies? What are they doing, taking holidays like that right in the middle of summer when everybody's out working and cutting grass and looking not to cook in the evenings? So what are they doing? They shouldn't be doing it at all, I don't think. Right, that's me over with my rant now.
One of the most loved Chippies has shut its doors. It's a reminder that even the longest-standing traditions aren't safe from today's rising costs.
Breaking news for Cork, and it's tragic news. It is bad news. It is heartbreaking news. Our most loved, one of the best, if not the best chipper in the whole city, Jackie Lennox's Bandon Road on the south side, have just announced after 73 years they're closing down. What? They released this statement in the last few minutes on their Facebook page, thanking their customers over the years and announcing their closure on the 6th of October. When I mean to say I am in shock and in deep mourning, that's an understatement. The curry sauce, the Jackie Deluxe, the cheese and onion pies, the potato pies, the batter sausages. Jesus. I think I speak on behalf of most people in Cork when I say this is a dark day. We weren't expecting it, and we certainly don't want to see Lennox's closing down. But thank you for 73 years of unbelievable food.
Even Binley Mega Chippy, which once went viral online, has now closed its doors.
What's yours?
Oh, you're not. Get that f***ing cooker on.
People were queuing outside this chip shop before it closed for good. A final taste of a local favourite.
George's Portobello Fish Bar has finally closed its door after 63 years of fish and chip service. So let's get some. So we're in the queue for George's to get the last fish and chips we're going to get from George's. It's like a legend in Notting Hill for fish and chips. So we're just in the queue, look. And this lovely lady has just lent us her umbrella so we can queue in the... Yeah, look, we're going to get fish and chips, aren't we, darling? Okay, we're getting closer. Everybody in Notting Hill and West London knows about George's Portobello Fish Bar. For 63 years, they have been pumping up fish and chips, ribs, pies, chicken to famous locals and the local community. And we are so gutted to see the end of an era. George unfortunately passed away recently, and they have been selling the building for quite a while. Finally, the time has come to say goodbye to the Ribs, and it's one of the only food establishments that was affordable, and they still only ever took cash. You couldn't use your card in there, yet people were queuing hours, and I finally secured the bag, and look at this gorgeous food. I'm so gonna miss it. Altogether this costs £30 with the drinks, the ribs, the sides. Thank you so much, George's Fish Bar, George's Fish and Chips down Portobello Road, for all the beautiful food you provided for us for all the decades of years.
Trying Smith's Fish and Chips before they are gone. Smith's Fish and Chips is located at Balmoral Plaza, and it has been here for 14 years, but recently announced that they will be closing down for good. There's a crispy crunch when I cut through the fish, which is a good sign. But let's try their chips first.
Potatoes. I think Gordon Ramsay will be so upset with their fries. It's not crispy on the outside.
Their chips are so soft as though they boiled it in water. But I'm not hating it because I love boiled potatoes, just that it's not fish and chips.
And their tartar sauce tastes like store-bought tartar sauce. Give it a try. Tastes very familiar, right? It's like store-bought tartar sauce.
Their fish is really chunky and the batter is really crispy, which I love. Just that the fish itself is under-seasoned. I'm not sure it's intentional or not, since they provide us with condiments like vinegar, salt and ketchup to complement with the fish.
But the fish is so bland. Like the fish and the inside of the fish, it's like they didn't even marinate it. Do you think that is better? The one I cut out? I cannot really find good fish in Singapore. Like so far I've not had any that wow me. Even the ended I was not wow. I was just like, oh, it's okay, not bad. It's better than yeah. But they've been here for 14 years.
I actually did enjoy this plate of fish and chips quite a bit, just that the chips were not crispy. I'm not sure is this authentic British fish and chips, but you should come give it a try before it's gone.
Have you noticed more fish and chip shops closing in your local area? It's a worrying sign of how the cost of living is changing British culture. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.